Good morning to one and all for the today's morning session in energy engineering, that is module 3 solar energy. In that today we'll be discussing solar thermal systems. So first of all, what is heliothermal process? It is the process in which the solar energy falling on the surface, such as solar flat plate collector placed on the earth in the form of visible light, is converted into thermal energy or heat. Okay, helioelectrical process is a process in which using the principle of photovoltaic effect, solar energy is directly converted into electrical energy. Next we will be discussing about solar collectors. What are solar collectors? Solar energy reaching Earth's surface has a small intensity of about 5 to 7 kilowatt hour per meter square. Hence, for any worthwhile application, sufficient solar energy should be collected from a large ground area with the help of many solar collectors. Solar collector is a device for collecting solar radiation and then transferring the absorbed energy to a fluid passing through it. Listen carefully once again, I'll repeat. Solar collector is a device for collecting solar radiation and then transferring the absorbed energy to a fluid passing through it. A solar collector absorbs solar energy is in the form of heat and simultaneously transfers this heat to a fluid so that the heat can be transported by the fluid. The transport fluid takes this transferred heat from the collector and delivers it to a thermal storage tank. Boiler or heat exchanger, so that it can be utilized in a solar thermal system. Hence, solar collectors is essential and it forms the first basic unit in a solar thermal system. Next we will be discussing about classification of solar collectors. Okay, so classification of solar collectors, you all can see in this slide the solar collector: non-concentrating or flat plate collector, concentrating type collector, focus type collector, non-focus type collector. Under focus type collector, line focus type collector and point focus type collector, and under non-focus, modified flat plate collector, compound parabolic concentrating type collector. Okay, and under line focus, cylindrical parabolic collector and linear Fresnel lens collector. Under that, fixed mirror solar collector. And under point focus, under this modified flat collector, it comes paraboloidal dish collector and circular Fresnel lens concentrator collectors, and hemispherical bowl mirror concentrator, under which it comes central lower receiver. These are the classifications. So a solar collector is a device to collect and absorb solar radiation and to transfer the absorbed heat energy to the fluid in contact or passing through it. There are mainly two types of solar collectors: a non-concentrating or flat plate collector and concentrating collector, as shown in this figure. You all can see here non-concentrating collector and concentrating collector. These are the two types. Okay, these are the two types. Okay, so the solar energy collector with its associated absorber is the essential component of any solar collector for the conversion of solar radiation energy into more usable form of energy such as heat or electricity. Okay, in non-concentrating, first of all we will discuss about non-concentrating solar collectors. The collectors or radiation interceptors area is the same as that of the observer's area. You are getting what I am telling? In non-concentrating solar collectors, the collectors or radiation interceptors area is the same as that of the observer's area. On the contrary, the interceptor's area is much time more than that of the observer's area in the concentrating type collectors. By increasing the concentration of radiation energy, much higher temperature can be obtained in the collectors. Fluid and transportation. Okay, concentrating collectors. Now we will be discussing about concentrating collectors. Okay, concentrating collectors can be used to generate steam of medium temperature and pressure. The concentrating collectors use different arrangements of mirrors and lens to concentrate solar radiation for effective generation of steam in the boilers and other devices. The concentrating type solar collectors have better efficiency than that of the flat type collectors. See, listen carefully what I am telling. Once again I will repeat this. The concentrating type solar collectors have better efficiency than that of these non-concentrating or flat type collectors. Understood? To improve their efficiency, the collector should be movable by tracking system so as to make the collectors always facing the sun when the sun moves through the sky. The line focus type collectors requires one axis tracking, while the point focus type collectors requires two axis tracking. The line focus, point focus, and non-focus. Listen carefully. The line focus, point focus, and non-focus type collectors are as enumerated in the classification as shown in the chart above. Okay. While non-focus type collectors utilize both beam and diffuse radiation, the focus type collectors utilize only beam radiations as diffuse radiation cannot be focused. Concentrating collectors can increase the power flux of the sunlight by hundreds of times. This class of collectors is used for high temperature applications such as steam generation. Concentrating collectors are best suited for such climates that have high percentage of clear sky days as the cloudy days have diffuse radiation which cannot be concentrated. The main types of concentrating collectors are parabolic dish collectors, parabolic dish collectors, parabolic trough collectors, power tower, and stationary concentrating collectors. A solar photovoltaic concentrating module uses optical elements such as Fresnel lens to increase the sunlight incidenting on it. Okay, concentrating collectors has to face the sun, and it needs tracking device to follow with the movement of the sun. Concentrating collectors for home or small business solar heating appliances are usually made of parabolic trough type collectors that can concentrate the solar radiation on an absorber tube or receiver which contains any fluid for heat transfer. Okay, these are the things with classifications. Next we will be discussing about liquid flat plate collector. Okay, so you all can see in the figure liquid flat plate collector. It consists of thermal insulation, solar. These are the solar radiations which shown in arrow marks. Okay, these are the solar radiations. Okay, and this portion is a absorber plate and the transparent cover. This portion is a transparent cover, and the fluid passage tube. This is the fluid passage tube. This is the space is the fluid passage tubes, and this is the casing at the outside covering. We all can see. Okay, these are the casings. These are the things. Okay, So the main parts of flat plate collectors, this is liquid or the flat plate collector. Main parts of the flat plate collectors are absorber plate. This absorber plate you all can see here, it is shown in figure. Okay, it is meant to intercept and absorb incident solar radiation. It is meant to intercept and absorb incident solar radiation. It is primarily a blackened heat absorbing plate, usually made up of copper, aluminum or steel. It may also be given a coating to minimize the emission of heat from its surface. Listen carefully, the most important thing here, it may also be given a coating to minimize the emission of heat from its surface. Next, coming to this transparent cover. Transparent cover, it is made up of one or more transparent sheets of a glass or a plastic. It is placed above the absorber plate. You all can see here, it is placed above the absorber plate. The cover allows radiation to reach the absorber plate, but it prevents any re-radiation. See, listen carefully, any re-radiation and heat losses due to the convection. Next we will be discussing fluid tubes or the channels. You all can see at the base the fluid tubes or these are the channels you all can see. Okay, fluid tubes or channels are arranged in thermal contact with the absorber plate. It is arranged in thermal contact with the absorber plate so that the heat can be transferred from the absorber plate to the fluid in tube or channels. Understood? Next we will be discussing thermal insulation. Next we will be discussing about this thermal insulation. Okay. The thermal insulation is provided under the absorber plate and fluid tubes to minimize any heat loss by transmission or convection from the absorber plate and fluid tubes. Next, tight container or box. All the above components of the collector are protected by a tight container or a box as shown. The characteristics of a flat plate collectors are as follows. It absorbs both direct and diffuse radiation. It does not need any sun tracking system. Hence it is mathematically stronger than other collectors which requires tracking system. It has simple construction requiring a little maintenance. Okay, these are the things with liquid flat plate collector. Next we will be discussing about solar cylindrical parabolic concentrator. Okay, so parabolic mirrors. Okay, see here, parabolic mirrors are so adjusted so that the focus of one mirror is located at the bottom end of the other mirror in contact with the receiver. The arrangement helps in increasing the acceptance angle. The concentration ratio achieved by this type of collector ranges from 3 to 7. Okay, 3 to 7. Cylindrical parabolic concentrator or a parabolic trough collector consists of a cylindrical parabolic trough reflector with a metallic fluid tube or a receiver tube containing fluid at its focal lines shown in figure. Okay, in order to have better absorption of the solar radiation, the fluid tube is blackened at outer surface. The concentrated solar radiation reaching the fluid tube heats up the transport fluid flowing through it. The collector with such concentrators has to be oriented to any of the following 3 directions: east, west, north, south, polar. Hence such collectors needs one axis tracking system which can move the collector as per the sun's movement in the sky. These types of collectors have the concentration ratio in the range of 5 to 30. Okay, 5 to 30. Next we'll be discussing about evacuated tubular collector. So it consists of solar radiations. You all can see solar radiations we have shown here with the arrow marks. Okay, and the hot water flowing here. Okay, and the cold water entering, hot water coming out. Okay, and cold water entering into this. And this is the outer glass tube. This you all can see the outer glass tube, and vacuum inside is created. Okay, and the inner glass tube. This is the inner glass tube. This is the outer glass tube, and this is the inner glass tube. You all can see here. Okay, this thin line you all can see there. These are the things. The evacuated tube solar collectors are common and can achieve high temperatures than the flat collectors, ranging from 50 to 130 degrees Celsius. See, listen carefully. I'll repeat once again. The evacuated tube solar collectors are common and can achieve high temperatures than flat plate collectors, which we have discussed in the previous slide. Okay, ranging from 50 to 130 degrees Celsius. They are made up of vacuum glass tubes. We have shown in the figure vacuum glass tubes. Okay, the absence of air highly reduces convection and conduction thermal losses. They also have barium getter component in common. The main role of the getter is to maintain the vacuum inside the tube. The main function of the role of the getter is to maintain the vacuum inside the tube. Okay, and to give a visual indicator to the vacuum status. Evacuated tube collector can get very hot, exceeding the boiling point of water, and can cause significant issues in an existing domestic solar water systems. You are getting what I am telling? It may cause significant issues in an existing domestic solar water systems. You need to use your hot water every day to ensure the temperature does not overheated in the tank or end usage. Installed just after the last hot water tank, and mix your regular, that is cold water supply with the hot water to ensure the temperature never exceeds a set limit. Heat extraction from a long thin absorber is the main problem with evacuated tube solar collector. Okay, heat extraction from long thin absorber is the main problem with the evacuated tube solar collector. Following methods are to be used to extract the heat from evacuated tubes. It is heat pipe, flow through absorber, a glass tube, storage tubes. Advantages of evacuated tube solar collectors. It can be used in any climate from extremely hot to extremely cold weather. Okay, its high level of vacuum ensures the operation under cold weather conditions. Evacuated tube solar collectors requires lesser space and is very easy to install. It can absorb the solar radiation from multiple angles due to its tubular design. Wind and low temperature have less of effect on the function of evacuated tubes. Okay. In the case of damage, the tube does not stop working or getting leaked but continue to the work at lower efficiency. You are getting what I am telling? In case of damage of tubes, it won't stop its working or getting leaked out through the collector tubes, and it gives a low efficiency, but it will be in the working condition. Understood? Next, since no water is flowing through the collector tubes and tubes are hermetically sealed, it does not suffer from corrosion problems as in case with other solar collectors. Limitation of evacuated tube solar collectors. Initial cost is high as compared to other collectors. Construction of evacuated U tube collector is little bit complicated as compared to other collectors, and thus proper handling required. Sometimes due to improper handling and maintenance, temperature become very high due to lack of water in the tube, and hence it causes a thermal shock. So tube may crack and resulting vacuum to lose. Okay, next we'll be discussing about solar pond. Okay, solar pond, it consists of, you all can see the zones we have placed here: lower zone, gradient zone, surface zone. These are the zones, and when this is connected to the pump, you all can see the pump here, and the evaporator and the condenser when it reaches to the turbine, and it generates electricity. These are the solar pond. Okay, the solar pond serves the dual purpose of large flat collector and a thermal storage system. It consists of a large size brine pond which has salt concentration gradient in such a way that the most concentrated and dense part of brine solution is at the bottom of the pond, and the brine concentration gradually reduces from bottom to the top of the pond. Based on the variation of brine solution density, a solar pond has three zones. As of I have said that in the previous, at the beginning: lower zone, gradient zone, and surface zone. Okay, these are the three zones. Okay, so the top zone is the surface zone, which has least salt content and its temperature is atmospheric temperature. The bottom zone has maximum salt the bottom zone has maximum salt content and it has high temperature, 70 to 85 degrees Celsius. This is the zone that collects and stores the solar energy as heat energy. In between these two zones there is a gradient zone. You all can see the gradient zone in between this 1 and 3. The second one is gradient zone, which is lying between to the surface zone and lower zone. Okay, the hot brine solution from the bottom of solar pond is taken out without disturbing the brine's gradient existing in the solar pond. Okay, so next we will be discussing about solar air collector. Solar air collector. Solar air collectors have various applications. On the one hand, they can be used for air heating in cold seasons. On the other hand, they can be used in the summer to evacuate the warm and polluted air from residential, offices, industrial and commercial buildings. Okay, the paper presents experimental results of solar collector air under the climatic conditions of the southeastern Europe. The relationships between the direct solar radiation, the relationship between this direct solar irradiation, the resulting heat flow, the air velocity at the outlet, the air flow rate, the nominal regime of the collector and the efficiency of the conversion of solar energy into thermal energy. This can be obtained. Okay, maximum 50 minimum solar air collectors with baffles. You all can see the baffles and fins. You all can see here fins. These are the fins. Okay, these are the fins we have shown in the system. And double air passages can reach over 50% of efficiency for solar irradiation of 900 to 1000 watt per meter square. The article also these are the things with solar air collectors. With this we stop today's class. Thank you for the class. With this we wind up with the class, and if you have any queries you can contact me. Okay, thank you.